Class, so today we're going to be continuing to look at graphing quadratics in standard form. The key here is that if you did not complete those video notes yesterday, then you're not going to know what to do today. So you need to go backwards and watch yesterday's video notes first, complete yesterday's information before you can work on today's information with the standard form part 2. So same process as yesterday, still trying to plug in input values, find that vertex. Okay, we still want 5 values. However, today when we graph it, we might find that the numbers don't work out quite as nice and neat as they maybe have before. So what happens when we graph and the decimals aren't as pretty, or we get something sort of weird? So I'm going to actually pull an exact example from Alex. Okay, so let's say we have y equals negative 3x squared plus 6x plus 3. Okay, and we want to graph this parabola. So we said that the vertex would go in the middle. And what formula do we always use to find our first x value? We always start with x equals negative b over 2a. So in this particular problem, what does a equal? A equals negative 3. What does b equal? B equals 6. So when we're plugging this in, we should say negative 6 over 2 times negative 3. Okay, and so here we have negative 6 over negative 6. So no problem here. We're getting that to be plugging in as a 1. So remember, we're counting up and down. So 1, 2, 3, 0, negative 1. And then just like we said yesterday, we're still going to take those values and we are going to plug them in for x squared. So let's start right here at our vertex, right? And let's plug that 1 into each of these x values. So I want you to plug that 1 in and then tell me what you get out. We should have got out 6. Okay, now I want you to plug in 0 and tell me what you get out. We should have got out 3. Okay, next I want you to plug in, let's do the 2 next. Okay, so let's plug in 2 and let's see, tell me what you get out. Okay, we should have got 3, and that is, as we saw yesterday, those match up there. Okay, so no problem. Okay, now let's plug in the 3. Tell me what you get out when you plug in the 3. We should have got negative 6. And now plug in the negative 1. And we get out negative 6. Okay, and so just like we did yesterday, no problem, we're going to start plotting these ordered pairs. And so I'm going to plot the point negative 1, negative 6. Right? I'm just taking that ordered pair from right here. Now I'm going to plot the point 0, 3, 1, 6, 2, 3, and 3, negative 6. And this is our parabola. Now, we said yesterday, we saw some examples of this yesterday, that sometimes when we were going to find our vertex, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That sometimes we ended up with not perfect numbers because maybe we had something odd. So maybe we had something like y equals x squared plus 3x plus 8. Okay, and so when we did negative b over 2a, right, we would have negative 3 over 2 times 1. And just like we said yesterday, most of us are probably going to prefer to turn that into a decimal and have negative 1.5. Okay, we also said yesterday to count above and below, right? If we're finding negative 1.5 and where it's located, 0, -1, -2, right? Negative 1.5 is here. So we would try and avoid that decimal and we would go to -2, -1, 0, -3. And again, no problem. We just start plugging in numbers, right? This is exactly like what we did yesterday. And we'd plug in that negative 1.5 plus 3 times negative 1.5. I'm just going to see what we get out here. Okay, and we get out a 5.75. Okay, so today the catch is when we get those numbers, right? Yesterday we were just sort of approximating when we put it on the graph, and it didn't matter because we were just plotting them by hand. But what are we going to do today when we need to get a point like this into the ALEKS program? Okay, so what if you want to plot the ordered pair negative 1.5, comma 5.75? Okay, so let's go back to where we were looking at in ALEKS. Okay, and let's say we want to plot something like negative 1.5, comma 5.75, because we said we just can't avoid that sometimes we get weird numbers. Okay, to do this, you can't just sort of approximate on the graph and make a point. Instead, you're going to have to click this square right here and click on it, and it will allow you to type in the point. So I'll be able to type in negative 1.5, and a y value of 5.75. And then I'll just be able to click plot point, and notice it just shows up over here for me. Okay, so if my other values are perfect numbers, then that's no problem. I can just get the pencil and plot it. But if I get another decimal value, right, I could just go back in here and I could plot my 5 points this way. So what you'll do is you'll plot the rest of your points. I'm just making up a problem now and plotting some points. Okay, so you'll plot the rest of your points wherever they are. Now I'm making these up, so I don't even know if I'm picking good enough values. And then you'll click this button here. There we go. And it will turn it into a parabola for you. Okay, so get those 5 points plotted. Click the parabola button and then click to save it to check it and make sure that you are correct. So you're going to be doing 5 of these today for your assignment. You're going to have to be doing some math with plugging them in, but make sure double, triple, quadruple check either once you're done or before you even get started, you have completed your other e-learning assignments for this week.